Okay. So I am going to check the comments real quick. If you are present and you can hear me and see me, would you shoot a little comment so I can see? It's a little bit hard from within this platform to be able to see if we're really up and running yet. So if you're out there and you're online watching this live video, just shoot me a comment on the live stream page on Icarus and see if this is working yet. And let's see. So just bear with me. This is my first live video for NZ. Just want to see. Yeah, I think we're on. I think we're live, people. Thank you so much, Mitch. Okay, I'm gonna give a couple minutes, you guys, just to see. Hi, Yana. Thank you very much. Brian, great, awesome. Thanks, you guys. Good to have you all here, actually. Why don't we just breathe a little bit and wait for a few more people to come on. For those of you that are here, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How's everybody doing? Oh, Mitch, good job on being the first. If you're here, tell me what you are up to right now. Where are you at? What are you doing? Are you eating? What time is it? We'll just do about 2 minutes of a little comment discussion before we get started. So much love happening in the comments. I love it. And if you're just showing up right now, I'm just giving about 2 minutes or so for a couple more people to collect, and then I'll get into the presentation. So just go ahead and chime in the comments and let me know how you are doing and what you're up to. By the way, I'm over at the Skydive Spaceland Houston drop zone having a personal training day. So if somebody maybe walks into this presentation, staff member, apologies if it's disruptive, but they're so gracious to let me use this room today for NZ. Yana, homeworking, noon in the office, banging out code. Awesome, you guys. Keep charging. Love it. Okay, so I'm just gonna get started. Forgive me, let me just preface this whole discussion by saying I don't typically do presentations, so they feel a little bit nerve-wracking for me. I'll just admit that. But I'm so excited about the things that I'm going to talk about. They're things I feel really passionate about, and I apply these to my own life as a skydiving coach and just as a human. So I'm excited to share it with you guys. And love NZ, great canopies, love the company, and super happy to do this for them. All right, my name is Alethia Austin. I am a full-time skydiving coach and load organizer. I am a Vinyasa Indian yoga teacher. I am the creator of the LSD vertical and angle camps, and I am a Project 19 Regional Captain. And I am super passionate about living a good life and having a long, beautiful relationship with skydiving. There's so much that goes into jumping. There's so many things that we need to think about, train for, learn, and be to be a skydiver. Safety, gear, elements, decision-making processes, and not even to mention the physical act of flying. Before I get started, I would love for us to just take a couple breaths together. So whether you're working or at home or relaxing, let's just settle in together. So we're gonna take, we'll go with 3. We'll go with 3 inhalations and exhalations together. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Inhale and exhale. Great. So today I am going to speak about an approach to skydiving that I am very passionate about. It's an area that thrills me and that I practice in my skydiving career as a coach and a flyer, but also in my life outside of skydiving. Things that I believe wholeheartedly are some of the main factors of a life well lived. I'm going to talk about energy management and wellness. I've broken this down into a few areas: food, sleep, attitude, exercise, and self-talk. So first up is food. Food is a really big deal to me. It's constantly on my mind, and I eat pretty much most of my way throughout the day. It's a really big factor in the way that we function mentally, emotionally, and physically. It's no surprise to me that some of the top flyers are acutely aware of nutrition and food intake in the same way some of the top athletes in the world in any sport are. It's also no surprise to me that people are crashing after a few jumps during an event or a coaching day because they've just underestimated the power of good food while training. So, how to set yourself up for a successful day of flying with food? Eat and eat well. I'm 24 years plant-based, so my passion is really in the plant-based arena. I know this isn't everybody's story. If you are curious about plant-based living, you can reach out to me anytime. I'm always happy to chat. But for everything here, no matter what your food lifestyle is, I've put together a couple tips for you on just how to make the most of it. First is eat your breakfast. Seriously, get in a solid breakfast before you take on the task of anything physical ahead of you. A couple ideas would be, and some of my favorites are smoothies with a mix of maca, flax, spirulina, and chlorella, some sort of protein, and some sort of fruit and greens. Some of my other breakfast staples are oatmeal with maybe flax and some fruit, or a plant yogurt with maybe maca and flax and some kind of chopped fruit. Those are like the usual breakfasts that I have, rotating them throughout the week. Second is to hydrate. Try to start your day by chugging water in the morning. That should be the first thing that you wake your body up with. So start ahead of that hydration game by getting in a huge jar of water into your system first thing in the morning, and then just keep drinking all day. Water is life. Get on board with it. Snack your heart out. I don't know a time or a place where I don't have a bag full of food on me. And it's really true. If you ever see me at the drop zone, you always see me with a bunch of just old bags filled up with food to keep me fueled throughout the day. In order for me to be able to coach 12-hour days with the energy and alertness that I really need, I've got to keep fueling my body. So having snacks on hand is a must for anyone who is giving their all for long hours. A couple people ask me what to bring for snacks. I'm maybe not so sure. So I usually have fruit or some kind of nuts, maybe prepped lunches of heavy salads that have like hearty stuff in it, maybe beans and quinoa, a bunch of veggies, guacamole, kimchi, stuff like that for the salads. Sandwiches or hummus and pita, protein snacks, maybe like bars or jar of peanut butter with apples or bananas. And I say bring more food than you think that you'll need, because it always just does come in handy, especially if you're jumping straight into the 8 p.m., 9 p.m. hours, wherever you're at. Your future self is going to thank you for showing up with a bag of food. Trust me. Keep hydrating. I wanted to make sure that we drill this one in. I was coaching at an event here in Texas last month. There was a student who flew in all the way from Mexico, and he had to pull out halfway throughout the day that I was coaching him. His body was cramping under canopy, and he could barely bend his legs. And it was a shame because he'd done all of the hard work to get on the camp. He flew from thousands of miles away, was, qualified to get into this skills camp and spent the time and spent the money, only to find that not eating breakfast and lunch and not drinking enough water wouldn't sustain him here in the 100-degree humidity weather, wearing face masks, all day. So he cramped up, and that money spent on the jumping day just went to waste. So even if you're maybe not feeling thirsty, just force the water down in between your jumps. Your body operates so much better when it's hydrated. Your organs and digestive system will also thank you. And the same goes with food as well. Even if you're not feeling hungry, just a couple snacks in between the jumps is really gonna help. I'm gonna pause here real quick and just take a look at the comments and make sure we're still on. Okay, good job. Going back to presentation. Next point is to eat well. What kind of foods are you eating? I'm gonna leave the plant-based discussion out of this one, but really, what are you eating? How much of your diet is whole foods? Do you have greens and grains and beans and fruit in your diet? Are you getting enough vegetables and whole foods to really stay healthy? Or are you finding yourself with bags of chips and candy bars and high sugar fruit juices and sodas? Is your diet full of breads and fast foods and processed foods? Just maybe taking a look at what kind of food you're putting into your body and asking yourself if it's really going to set you up for a high level of performance and a high level of stamina. How does your food make you feel? After a meal and a snack, seriously, you should feel like a damn savage. Your food should give you a heavy dose of energy. Your body should be buzzing and humming, and you should really be ready to go be a beast in the sky. If you're feeling a bit sluggish or tired, if you're crashing or you're maybe barely digesting, maybe you can make a couple changes to what you're feeding your body. If you want to chat about this, give me a shout. I will really geek out with you big time on this. We can take a look at what you're eating throughout the day. I am not a professional. I am just a really long-term fan of fueling my body and seeing what works with it. So just really taking a look at what you're eating throughout the day and recognizing how it's making you feel and then making changes to that. Another tip in this area is just easy does it on the fun. A skydiving event or a coaching day just wouldn't be the same if there were not drinks happening in the DZ bar or at the landing area. I get it. Drinks are fun. The celebratory drink at the end of a beautiful day of flying is definitely a thing. But your celebration drink turning into so many that your jumps are paying the price is just is that where we want to be headed with the investment that we're making into skydiving? So learning how to walk that balance between taking an athletic approach to your skydiving and also having an outrageously awesome time is a really great lesson. From experience, I can say you can have your cake and you can eat it too when it comes to partying with the best of them and flying with the best of them. Find that balance. My tip for this is save your mojo for the big banger final parties and keep the rest of those days tame and focused. Limit yourself on your alcohol or whatever else is your thing, and just stay focused on your training days and find that fun maybe on that last big night. Let me just check back in and make sure we're still on. I see from the comments you guys are still there. Cool. So next area is sleep. If you're already not asleep throughout this presentation, that's great. If you are asleep, that is also great. Sleep is my next topic, and it's another one I am a very big fan of. Sleep has a massive impact on the way we perform and the way we retain what we have learned. So without good sleep, we are performing less great than what we could be, and we're barely retaining what we have learned on those sleepy training days. Matthew Walker has an incredible book published called Why We Sleep, which has more than enough reasons to make sleep a priority based on years and years of research. I think that one was recommended to me by Jasper Vandermeer and Domi Kiger. Domi has a great presentation out there somewhere from the Paradise Portugal Coaches Workshop, I believe, where she gets into a nice discussion of sleep. I really recommend grabbing this book by Matthew Walker and giving it a listen. I also recommend Domi's speech. It's great. I am on the road constantly. I live out of my suitcase, and my bedroom changes almost weekly, from Airbnbs to drop zone rooms to dorm rooms with other coaches. Every event I show up to is a holiday for the participants, and it's a work week for me. Everyone's really ready to fly hard and socialize harder, and I get it. It's not easy bowing out of late nights to tuck myself into bed in time to catch 8 hours of sleep. But years ago, when I decided that this had to be a priority, I started making decisions to support that. My mornings have been so much more improved, and my energy is way more sustainable because of it. How much sleep are you getting? How much do you know about what sleep does for you? And how much do you know about the lack of sleep and how it impacts your day-to-day and in your flying? A few things to help you catch some more Z's. The first is obvious. You need to make sleep a priority. So set an hour amount of sleep that you want to achieve per night. 8 hours being like minimum. That's the optimal time. More if you can, but seems nearly impossible. So let's aim for 8 hours. Work backwards from the time that you need to wake up, and then figure out the time that you need to go to bed in order to get that 8 hours of sleep. And then just say no to anything that is going to cut into that time that you've set as your bedtime. Be super present with people in your waking hours, on the drop zone, the people that you're with, so that saying yes to sleep and missing a few things in the evening doesn't mean you're going to miss out on those great connections and those great life experiences. You can have that full connection and full life experience through those waking hours and still get 8 hours of sleep. So it's just finding that balance. Another way to get great sleep is to create a sleep process. For me, processes are life. When people tell me that they struggle to sleep, the first thing I ask is if they have a sleep process. Processes can really create the space for success in whatever it is you're doing. So to optimize the time that you do have for sleep, set yourself up for a great night of rest. For me, that looks like dimming the lights and using only low, warm lighting when it's possible. If I'm feeling like I want to listen to music in the evening, it's super down tempo. Maybe it's some mantra music. Even better, just silence to really tame the mind. I have a few things that immediately get me in the mood for sleep, which are I've used for years, and I use them only right before bed, so they kind of have that, they give me that reaction of just getting really tired. Those things include a sleep sound machine, which is amazing. I can recommend one too if you want one. That travels everywhere with me. Also essential oils. I'm on that bandwagon, I know, but they are really great with a diffuser by the bed or in the bedroom. Just that scent will really calm you down, get you ready for it. And the nectar of the universe for me is a chamomile tea with some almond milk and maybe cinnamon. A hot shower and shutting down all of the intrusive devices also helps me calm down. So maybe your sleep process is not exactly the same as mine. Just create your own sleep process. Turn things on, turn things down, quiet your space, let go the day, and really set yourself up by calming yourself down and preparing to hit the pillow. I promise this will work for you. I'm gonna check in with you guys. Have a little drink of water, shall I? Thomas. I do speak with my hands big time. I don't know, they just have a mind of their own. Okay, moving along to attitude. If we've ever worked together, you've ever flown with me, you will know that I show up throughout the day with a decisively positive attitude. This is already like built into my DNA from many years ago when I decided that I would take things in from the world and digest them in a positive way. But this has also become a big part of who I show up as a coach as well. I've witnessed too many times people deconstructing themselves and blowing up their chances of a successful moment by having a challenging attitude. I am so passionate about the power we have to decide how badass our day is going to be. When we wake up ready to fly, we can literally decide the entire day's tone. We can set our intentions for the day and call on ourselves throughout the day to continue that as our truth. Seriously, that is all it takes. A decision, an intention, and the focus to hold yourself accountable to it. That's it. To me, that is totally incredible. I have seen within my groups and just within normal life, people almost fight for the opposite of that. It's like some people will fight for the validation that things are bad. They'll fight to be right in having a negative mood. I've seen people put so much energy into perpetuating a negative moment that a negative moment continues to last for hours or days, maybe even years for some people. It takes way less energy and fight, it takes way less energy and fight to decide to approach the day with positivity, humor, humbleness, whatever it is in you that you want. And way less energy to let things just roll away than it does to hold on to them and swim upstream with the burden of the negativity or anger or disappointment you feel inclined to hold on to. A negative attitude can truly can block you in the air. Who are you showing up as on the days you are flying? What kind of things are you bringing to the table that day? What kind of day do you want to have? Once you learn how to apply this to your training days, you can really just apply this to life in general. And seriously, the entire game of life changes for you. Things open up and your life becomes much more enjoyable. Side note, I understand that there are difficulties that we face, and I understand that there are things that having a positive intention for the day doesn't quite cure, and I'm sensitive to that. But on the day-to-day and the challenges that most of us face in the day-to-day, this truly, truly does work. So a few tips to get your mind in a good place. The first one is meditate. Get on board with meditation, learn how to include this into your day. It truly works. Meditation helps you find your calm and reminds you to return to it throughout the day when things get moving. 10 minutes in the morning can make a huge difference throughout your day. 10 minutes a few times a week can make a huge difference throughout your life. Check out the Waking Up app by Sam Harris. Again, it's the Waking Up app by Sam Harris. It has daily guided meditations. So if it's a little bit unclear what a meditation should feel like or sound like or feel like, getting a guided meditations through Sam is a really nice way to learn that, a bunch of different approaches to it. Or just grab a mat or a pillow or a blanket and go sit in silence with your eyes closed and just follow your breath. Don't expect anything from the meditation. Just breathe. Breathe away any thoughts and just be with yourself. The next tip to get your mind in a good place is to decide to get your mind in a good place. So take the time to figure out who you want to be when things get a little intense. Life is full of trying and challenging moments, as anyone alive in 2020 knows, how do you want to roll through these moments? You can decide that already. Choose to not get aggravated or frustrated or hurt or angry or annoyed or any of the myriad of negative emotions we can experience from life's challenge. Choose to let it roll away. Breathe through it. Choose positivity. Intention setting. Ooh, this is big. If you haven't already tapped into this amazing tool for setting your day up right, I recommend it. Start today. In the morning, it takes maybe 5 minutes to just go sit with yourself, grab a tea or a coffee or that big jug of water we talked about, and set an intention for the day. Examples of that. Today I'm going to meet my difficulties in training with the understanding that I need the challenges in order to learn how to fly. Or today I'm going to greet all of the difficult situations with humor. Today I'm going to have more patience with my challenging coworkers. Today I'm going to laugh through the people around me that are pulling my energy. Whatever it is, 5 minutes in the morning, sit with yourself and make that decision and that intention for your day. And lastly, breathe. Did something happen and the meditation didn't help and your intentions you set just disappeared and you're choosing to have a really good attitude but you're still frustrated? Breathe. Take a few deep breaths, walk outside, go somewhere you can take just a moment to sit there and breathe and exhale, let go, reset. We're getting to exercise, people. I'm going to check the comments, have a little bit of water, give my hands a break from all that talking. Cool. Here we go. Back to it. So we arrive at exercise. It's a thing. Exercise is really a thing. On a typical jump day, let's say we make 8 jumps across about a 10-hour span. And in those 10 hours, we have 8 minutes to actually perform. Like, that's a little bit crazy, right? To me, it's mind-blowing. 8 minutes out of a 10-hour day. Wow. And with this insanely small window of time we have in the sky, we're hoping that miraculously we are physically ready to be on it for those precious 60-second shots at flying. That is so much pressure to perform. Skydiving is a sport, and we are the athletes. We might not have thousands of spectators cheering for us every skydive. Maybe our sport is not airing on televisions inside all of the sports bars, but it is a sport and we are the athletes of the sport. Almost every other sport has training schedules. Almost every athlete in sports are exercising their bodies, trying to keep themselves in shape, trying to increase their strength and their stamina and their physical abilities so that they can perform better. Exercise keeps you going. Exercise keeps you young. It keeps you healthy. It protects you against injuries, keeps your body running like a machine, keeps your mind healthy and clean, and it also keeps you fit for skydiving. How can you expect body awareness in the sky if you aren't truly living in your body? How can you expect peak performance from your body if you are not training it? How can you expect quick recoveries after long days of skydiving, or expect to stay healthy during crazy travel schedules and less than optimal sleeping arrangements and weather changes and long jump days? There just isn't really an excuse for not exercising. Here's what you can do to add it to your life. Set aside time. We do have time, we really do. I think that we tell ourselves that we don't, and it's a pretty easy scapegoat for doing something that maybe is a little bit physically uncomfortable or we don't like. But there is time, there is always time. As someone who is as transient as I am without anything resembling a routine schedule, um, super long days and small windows of anything not on the drop zone, I can tell you that there really is always time. Look ahead to the days coming and schedule 20 to 40 minutes 3 times a week. Don't cancel. Don't cancel. Just show up for yourself. The workout, you don't need a gym membership. You don't need to drive halfway across the city to attend some kind of a class. You don't even need to leave your house. Get yourself a yoga mat and find a YouTube yoga teacher that you like. Again, contact me. I've got references, people for you. Or get a kettlebell and some weights and some resistance bands. One-time purchase, and then you're set up for some exercises at home. Lace up your running shoes or your walking shoes. There's so many resources for us online now that you can find so many ways to get really powerful, super strong, very short exercises online. Find those, and again, I've got some for you if you're curious. But get on it, set a schedule, and stick with it. Make yourself accountable. Take care of your body. It is the most valuable instrument that you have for flying, hands down. My very last area is self-talk. And I'm just gonna check on you guys, make sure that you're still there. Looks like you're still there. Great. Self-talk. I hate to preface this one by saying, ladies, this is for you. But ladies, this is for you. And men, you too. It's for everybody. I see way too often women and men becoming a giant bully, stopping them from progressing through really debilitating self-talk. I can literally feel the weight of someone going through a patch of negative self-talk in my group and just watch the way that it changes their flying. We have got to become supportive of ourselves. We have got to become our own cheerleaders and our own friends. When we experience something in the sky that we're disappointed with, maybe we burbled someone in the group and created an ejection, maybe we stopped flying and injected ourselves, maybe we had a dangerous break off. Whatever it is, when we experience it, we have got to learn that lesson from it, take that lesson and keep it, and then we have got to let it go. We need to discard it. We cannot hold it with us, and we definitely cannot take that experience onto the airplane with us on the next load. How can we fly when we're so consumed by the baggage of a previous jump's mistake? There is no room for treating each other in our group with disrespect and chastising each other for our mistakes. There is no room for being a jerk to those in our group, on the drop zone with us, or just in general. Why would we allow ourselves to do the same to ourselves? We have got to check ourselves on our self-talk. That means clearing the head of any negative narratives that are happening about our flying, and that means not verbally attacking ourselves in the group setting or the debriefs. There is no need to call out, oh, I'm such an idiot, I'm sorry you guys, I can't believe I did that, I'm so stupid. We get it. You flew a little less than you can, and we all got it on video. But we have all been there, and we will all be there again. You do not need to put yourself on the proverbial chopping block in front of us. Negative self-talk is just unwelcome in the day. Add that to your daily intentions if this is a thing for you. Be supportive, be constructive with yourself, and leave behind the previous jump before you get onto the next jump. So how to own a mistake, acknowledge what happened in the skydive, learn what it was that led to that mistake, talk to your coach and see how it could have been avoided, process it as a learning experience, and leave it be. how to handle a mistake that involved someone else, apologize, learn what happened, talk about how it could have been avoided, process it as a learning point, and leave it be. How to keep negative self-talk at bay when you are dying to bash yourself for messing up. Take a breath. Ask yourself if you would say the same things to a friend or sister or brother. And if you cannot resist the urge to berate yourself, throw some music on, get some super stoked music on, and just distract that awful beast in your head with something that just completely wakes you up with high levels of stoke. Energy management is a huge part of life in general. This is how we maintain our busy lives. This is how we keep our light shining, even in the darker times. Our mental state and attitude, the food we're eating and the sleep we're getting, the way we process our experiences and the narrative in our minds, and the way we take care of our body with exercise are such massive, massive factors in how we live our lives, and thus how we show up as skydivers. Brene Brown in Dare to Lead says, "Who we are is how we lead." Translated to skydiving, who we are is how we skydive. One final note before I wrap this up. One thing that'll improve your skydiving in immense ways is just to be kind to one another. Every person you're meeting on the drop zone is going through something. If 2020 has taught us anything so far, it's that we are all just trying to do our best, and we are all experiencing life situations that we need to overcome. Keep in mind, nobody is an expert at life. Challenging people have the same human struggles that we all have. I think our greatest asset is the ability to tap into compassion, empathy, and humbleness. Be kind to yourself and be kind to others. If any of this is interesting to you, or you want some resources of books or podcasts or recipes or whatever else along my journey I've found that's helpful, or if you just want to reach out and say hello, I am on Instagram, Alethia JA. I'm on Facebook, Alethia J. Austin. Better yet, we should fly together. Thank you so much, you guys. I think I have about 5 or so minutes for a Q&A. So if you have any questions whatsoever, go ahead and put them in the comments and I will answer them now. And then it's a training day, people. I need to get up there and jump with a positive mindset and a lot of food after 9 hours of sleep and a ton of water. Let me scroll through the comments and see if you guys have any questions. Lots of love. Thank you for showing up from Australia at midnight. How many hours of sleeping? Aim for 8. 8 is amazing. Go for 8. That is for Mikhail. Thanks for joining, Mikhail. Athletic approach yours? Yes. Daniel Angulo, definitely athletic approaching to skydive. Bromolo, please create a process for yourself for sleeping. Definitely create a process. Work backwards from that wake up time that I spoke about and start to get some things in place in the evenings to like get you mentally shutting down everything physically and getting ready to sleep. Promise it will help. Let's see. I don't think we have. Oh, Romulo, yes, I'll come to Australia, definitely. Visualization. Okay, real quick. Let's see if this is Anton. Visualization. Yes, this is a thing. So I haven't really studied this. I can't speak a lot about it, but I can tell you from from my own personal experience of using this in my skydiving forever, and using it in my life actually. This is kind of hand in hand sometimes with meditation. That every plane ride up, even if this is, maybe uh, the same type of skydive that I've flown the last 3 weeks, because I'm getting the same kind of requests for jumps or the same levels of people, then I am still going through the skydive 3 times. And that includes the exit, the free fall, all of the moves, the ditter, the separation, the pull, and the canopy pattern. So sometimes I'm a little bit more discreet now, but sometimes you'll see me go, and that's me flying my canopy down in my visualization, and maybe sometimes you'll see me slap a knee, and that's the high five on the ground. I do that 3 times in the plane. For me, the plane is not necessarily about like asking someone 5 seats ahead of you, like, what'd you have for dinner last night? Although that's very interesting to me, I will have you know. It is the time for me to train for that 60-second opportunity that I have to be on it with my group, to have eyes on everybody, to make sure that I'm flying super well for them. So use that time. It's going to add to that 8 minutes of performance that we have, right? In that 10-hour window, if we're on the drop zone, we have 8 minutes to perform. And then we have maybe 10 to 15 minutes on the airplane to really get into that flow. So visualization helps so much with that. If nothing else than just making sure that you're still in the moment as you exit the airplane. Hope that answered your question, Ramalau. Oh, that was for Anton. Hope it answered your question, Anton. I think that's it. It looks like I don't have any more questions. I really appreciate all of you joining in. It's nice to see some names that I'm not familiar with, and it's so nice to see some names that I am familiar with. I send you guys a lot of love and a lot of hope that you are getting through all of the times right now with grace and health and empathy and compassion, and also kindness from others. I'm with all of you. I understand this is a trying year, and just be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and big hugs to all of you. Thank you very much for being with me today. Thank you, Enzi, for this lovely opportunity. And if you want to contact me, I'm out on both Instagram and Facebook. Happy to see you there. And hopefully I will see you guys in the sky soon. And if not, please, please, please take care of yourselves.